They say money can't buy class, but you want to see what money really can't buy? Picture this. Sun barely up, the whole lake is glass, quiet as a prayer. And there she is, this woman, manicured right down to the knuckle, tapping her finger like a jackhammer on the hood of my old Ford. Her suit probably cost more than the truck itself. The kind of voice you only get after a lifetime of never hearing no, sharp and nasal, built to slice through walls and get its way. Clipboard clutched to her chest like a weapon, staring at me like I just dragged in the plague. I remember looking at her finger, then her face, then right back to my notebook. Not angry, not scared, just taking notes. To her, I was trash. Some drifter who'd inherited a run-down cabin, dragging down her precious property values. She thought she was shooing away a nuisance, had no idea she was poking the one guy who legally owned the dirt under her fancy Italian heels. In 2 days, she'd have the cops out. In 3 weeks, she wouldn't have an empire left to stand on. But that morning, all I did was jot down the time. 7:15 a.m., turn the page. Are you deaf? She snapped, stepping closer, trailing lavender and entitlement. You can't park this monstrosity here. She said like I'd driven a garbage truck into Buckingham Palace. This is a private road for residents of the reserve at Mirror Lake. The visual pollution alone is a violation. Bylaw Section 4, Paragraph C. I capped my pen, slid it into my flannel shirt pocket, looked past her at the lake. All those pines mirrored in the water, snow on the peaks. Old and silent. She didn't see a thing. Section 4, Paragraph C. I echoed, voice calm. Visual nuisance. Got it. She smiled that tight, predatory smile. I'm Venetia Torn Keslev, president of the Homeowners Association. You have 30 minutes to move this vehicle and any debris, or I'll have it towed at your expense. Blight. She said it like she'd just discovered a new kind of cancer. I glanced at the debris. Laser micrometer. High-density survey tool. Stuff she couldn't pronounce if you spotted her every other vowel. I wasn't there to admire the view. I was there to inspect a concrete pylon under their massive luxury dock. The one that started this whole mess. 30 minutes? I said. 29 now, she chirped, tapping her Rolex. 2 security guys in matching polos and sunglasses, trying so hard to look like Navy SEALs, but giving off pure mall cop energy, marched up behind her. Arms crossed, ready to play tough. I just stood, brushed dirt off my jeans. Didn't argue. Didn't bother to explain my Army Corps of Engineers background. She didn't care that I see the world in stress fractures and failure points. And right then, she was standing on one. I walked to my truck, climbed in. Smart choice, she called after me, voice all syrup. Don't come back without a contractor's license and a vehicle made this century. I fired up the engine, gave her a face full of black exhaust, and rolled up the ridge to my uncle's old cabin. From up there, you could see everything, her pointing, laughing with her security detail. She thought she'd won. She didn't know I wasn't retreating. I was moving to higher ground. That cabin was rough-hewn, all cedar and would smoke, hidden like it had just grown out of the mountain itself. Nothing fancy next to the glass mansions by the lake, but it had something money can't buy. History, secrets. I didn't unpack clothes. I unpacked equipment. Set my workspace, laptop, satellite uplink maps. I wasn't on vacation. Before he died, Uncle Silas sent me a letter. Short, shaking, full of warning. Mercer, they're pushing. They think I'm just a senile old man. They built on the water, took the flow. Check the box under the pantry floorboards. Don't sell. Don't give an inch. It's not just land. It's the water. I pried up the board he mentioned. Cold metal lockbox. Picked it open. Old habit. Just paper, yellowed, smelling of mildew and years. Last document at the bottom. It damn near stopped my heart. A federal land patent dated 1887, signed by the Department of the Interior. It didn't just grant my family the 20 acres up on the ridge. It gave us sovereign waterway rights to all of Mirror Lake and its tributaries. Not just access, the lake, the water, the whole shoreline up to the high water mark. I checked that seal 3 times. This wasn't just a deed, it was the Holy Grail. Looked out at that giant dock she was so proud of, built on my land. They've been charging residents $5,000 a year for access to water that wasn't even theirs. I digitized everything. Rule 1, never keep all your ammo in one bunker. Rule 2, know your terrain. Set up my commercial drone, mapped the shoreline, overlaid the old patent lines with new satellite imagery. My property lines didn't stop at the water. They were the water. Everything the HOA built, marina, beaches, docks, they've been squatting on my inheritance. This wasn't a property beef. It was a multi-million-dollar fraud, and Venetia was at the center. That evening, I walked to the end of my drive. Didn't take long. A white G-Wagon, gold rims, blocked my gate. Venetia behind the wheel, giant sunglasses, not even glancing at me. "You still here?" She barked, thumbs tapping on her phone. I leaned on the mailbox. "I live here. You're blocking my driveway. That's a county traffic violation, isn't it?" She laughed. "This isn't a county road. Private community. We own it. And since your truck is still visible from the street, consider this your official citation." She waved a slip of paper at me. Let it drop to the dirt. $500. Unauthorized assessment of community property. Visual blight. I looked at it, then her. "You can't build here," I said. She paused, lowered her glasses. "Excuse me." "The dock," I said. "Pylons are stressed. Overloaded when you added that second deck. It's not safe." She sneered. "You're a mechanic with a loud truck. I have real engineers. Move your trash, or I'll have the sheriff move you." She peeled out, gravel flying. I folded the citation into a paper airplane, tossed it into the trees. She thought she was applying pressure. Didn't realize she was compressing a spring. Next call I made was to the county surveyor. Requested an emergency boundary check. Next morning, county truck rolls up. High-vis vest, GPS gear. Guy looked tired but professional. "Mr. Ashland, you called about an encroachment?" I nodded. "New retaining wall the HOA put in last month? About 15 feet onto my land." He sighed, glanced at the homes below. "You sure? Their maps are pretty tight. Check the 1887 markers. I flag him for you." He laughed, until he found them. Spent an hour measuring. Venetia saw his truck, marched up with her guards, demanding to know who authorized the work. Jim pointed to me. "Property owner." She was fuming. Then Jim dropped the bomb. "Half your private beach, the wall, even the pool deck, all on his parcel." Silence. You could hear a pin drop. She tried to play tough, threatened lawyers, county commissioners. Jim just shrugged. "My machine uses satellites. It doesn't have an opinion." She turned to me, eyes full of hate. "You want war, Ashland? Fine. You're one man in a rotting cabin. I have lawyers cost more an hour than you make in a year." She stormed off. Jim shook his head. "You poked the bear, son. Watch your back." That night, lights went out in my cabin. Breaker was fine. By dusk, water was cut too. Pump valve smashed. At sundown, a man in a suit dropped a thick envelope. "HOA, cease and desist, order to vacate. Eminent domain." "You're not the government," I said. "Townships declared your property blighted, public good. You have 72 hours. He left. I fired up the generator, sat by the wood stove, made a call. "Sutton, it's Mercer." It started. Sutton Vance, old Army buddy, now a lawyer. He laughed. "Did she bite?" "She bit. Come my utilities. Served me with eminent domain." "Adorable. She'll use the township council. Probably owns them. I'll be there by morning. Don't kill anyone till then." By dawn, Sutton and Pace, our forensic accountant, built like a tank, more comfortable in a garage than a courtroom, arrived in a battered RV. I laid it all out, the patent, the survey, the legal threats. Sutton read the cease and desist, tore off a corner to pick his teeth. This isn't a legal document, Mercer. It's a confession. They used an environmental study from Apex Environmental, owned by Venetia's husband, Sterling. Fraud. Plain and simple. Paste dug into the HOA's books. Merc, they're broke. Reserves empty. Money funneled into shell companies for Sterling's gambling debts. And they're trying to sell water rights to Clear Springs Global for $50 million. They need your deed for the deal. And tonight, they're coming for you. Email to her head of security. Subject: asset removal. 2 a.m. Let them come, I said. Rigged up night vision, floodlights, cameras. Set the stage. At 2 a.m., 3 figures in black crept up with crowbars and gas. I waited, then flipped the switch. 12,000 lumens lit up the night like high noon. They froze, then scattered. One lost his mask, Venetia's bouncer. Every move caught on camera, streamed to the cloud. Next morning, the town hall was packed. Venetia whipped the crowd, painted me as a hazard, an arsonist, a threat. The council was ready to grant her emergency order, until I plugged my phone into the projector. On the big screen, her men, the attempted arson, her company's truck, then the bank records, then the $50 million contract to Clear Springs. The room erupted. Sheriff walked past me, right to Venetia. We need to talk about that video. Venetia shrieked. You think a few slides scare me? I own this town. She stormed out, but her empire was crumbling. At dawn, I heard bulldozers. Venetia and Sterling, last stand, trying to breach the dam, drain the lake, grab the exposed land. I parked my truck in their path. Turn it off, I shouted. Sterling raised a rifle. Sirens. Federal agents, Army Corps, EPA swooped in. Venetia Thornkessler, you are under arrest for wire fraud, embezzlement, attempted arson, and violation of the Clean Water Act. They pulled her down, her dignity evaporating in front of everyone. She spat at me. You're nobody. I'm the owner, I said. The fallout was brutal. Hua Dison Ven. Assets seized. Sterling turned on Venetia, got 5 years. She took it to trial, 15, no parole. The bottling deal collapsed. The lake stayed public. 6 months later, that old cabin was home. The lake free. No more private signs. No bottling. No fees. I put the water rights in a conservation trust. Guaranteed public access forever. Saw a family down by the shore. Father teaching his girl to fish. She laughed when she reeled in a sunfish. They weren't residents, just locals back where they belonged. They thought power wasn't a title, a suit, a clipboard. Turns out, power is truth and patience and letting a fool hang themselves. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's just the quiet of a lake, open to everyone again. So, where do you draw the line between protecting what's yours and letting others in? When does fighting for your rights cross into revenge? You ever seen power used to bully instead of bring justice, and then karma snap back, twice as hard? Drop your thoughts, your stories, down in the comments. What's your take on real justice? And hey, if this one fired you up, share it, pass it on, or just tell me, what would you have done? Because sometimes standing your ground is the only way the right thing gets done.